beauty is a crazy thing. And when I think about this, I got a daughter who's 15 years old who I constantly want to tell her, you're absolutely beautiful. I have a wife who's absolutely beautiful, and I want to tell her that all the time. I have a son who is handsome, and I want to tell him that all the time. But what I've learned over time is that if you lead with that, that's a place where it's tough with a 15-year-old girl, because if I'm constantly emphasizing how beautiful she is, her thought process will be, oh, wow, I get this praise, or I get the connection point with my dad, and I got to keep this up. And not to say that we don't need to compliment our wives or our daughters or our sons on the way that they look. But when I looked at Proverbs 31, this Proverbs 31 woman that it talks about, and this is what my mom told me all the time, like, she told me that she was praying for a Proverbs 31 woman in my life. And I thought this was weird when I was like in 3rd grade, 4th grade, 5th grade. I was like, why are you praying for a wife or a Proverbs 31 woman? I just want to have, the cute girl at school or whatever it was. But she kept telling me that what I wanted in my life. And I was like, well, I don't know if you know what I want. And she said, well, what you want in your life, son, is you want a Proverbs 31 woman. And it was incredible, because as you go through the Proverbs 31, it kind of lists out all the things that we should compliment first and focus on first. And then when the beauty comes also, that it just elevates. The beauty is the cherry on top, but the beauty of the soul and the beauty of the person, the beauty of the heart is so much more valuable, but it actually lists them out. Big shout out that I want to send over to is to Mr. Roy Tuscany. Dude, you always outdo yourself. We were talking on the phone the other day, and we're looking at redoing a book for him, his friend named Jake, and it's called Options. And, we're going to be revamping that book for him and doing that. And he said, I'm going to send it out to you. He literally, while we were on the phone, he sent it out to me while we were on the phone. And then not only did I get that, I got an amazing card, and I got my new jacket that I'm wearing right now. That's the High Fives Foundation, Adapt and Destroy. And that's, for this is right in line with Proverbs 31, because I'm not wanting to just compliment Roy on all the things that he does for me. It's the person who he is. And I learned this from my friend Lonnie Paxton, who introduced me to Roy. He said, Roy is one of the most solid, caring, and most heartfelt people that you'll ever meet. And so it's incredible that he did that. I came over here to the studio because I wanted to record, and I wanted to show you guys my new digs of the High Fives Foundation. You can check it out in the link, which would be great. But a Proverbs 31 woman, what we're going to be talking about today, and just Proverbs 31 person, is helping us to compliment people, not on just the outward or the advantages that we give, but the value that they bring. And when we do that, and then we add the beauty into it, it can work out amazing. So why don't we get this party started?
Nothing more on my mind. I got 2 shines, so every day I grind. Work in the morning, work in the evening. We's achieving, cause we believing. It's for certain, we put the work in. We ain't stopped just because it's hurting. Right before your eyes, so it's coming to no surprise. The takeover is televised. Over and over and over again. Make no mistake, we continue to win. Defeat never known, cause I will not lose. They wanna mimic my moves, but can't walk in my shoes.
Well, welcome back to the podcast. It is Halloween. It is the 31st of the month, and that means that we honor our wives. We honor the women in our lives. And when I say this, Roy, you're going to think of it as a sideways compliment, but I want to honor Roy Tuscany also, and it's right in line with this. It's not just, I'm saying that he's a woman in my life or anything like that, but I'm wearing my new High Fives jacket that he sent to me, Adapt and Destroy, find out the barriers that are there and then straight destroy them like he has with High Fives Foundation. You're an incredible human being, Roy. I love you. You're my brother, and thank you so much for all your wise counsel counsel. Jake, I'm looking out for you. I got a manuscript of, this is one of the last books. I think there's only 50 of these left. It's called Options. We're going to be redoing the book, but it's going to be incredible. It's about spinal cord injuries, and it's basically the Bible of that. Barry Corbett wrote that, and it's going to be incredible. So just wanted a huge shout out there. If you're not going to the Vibe Room, you're missing out. If you're not subscribed to the podcast, I believe you're missing out. Put on the notifications too, so you know when we're going. And then also the Vibe, the book. Check out the Vibe. It is in the link in the bio, and the tickets for the Vibe Room are there too. And you could check those out, which will be great. It's a special day for me, not only because it's Halloween and our neighborhood is awesome during Halloween, but also check this out. On the 31st of every month, Proverbs 31, the way that Proverbs, I believe, is broken down is the first 10 books is, kind of inviting you into all of the advantages that you could have by following wisdom. And what is wisdom? It starts from the fear of God. It's the right use of knowledge. And God is just kind of inviting you in. Then from 11 to 20, in those sides, it's starting to say, like, there's some things that you shouldn't be doing, right? And it starts to get a little stronger. It's not as, early on. It's like, hey, this is great. This is what all the advantages, benefits. Second 10 is all about like, hey, there's some things you shouldn't be doing. There's some things that you should focus on, and here's going to be it, and it gives the benefits also. And then from 21 to 30, it is strong. It is like telling you, like, if you do this, this is going to happen. These things are, and it's very, very strong. And I think of it like a relationship, right? If you come in too strong, right? Sometimes people are a little turned off, and God did that in Proverbs. And then Proverbs 31, the 31 is the description of a godly woman. And I love this because I used to think, this is what I need to show my wife. This is what I need to show the girls in my life. They need to be this. And God was like, no. You need to read the first 30 Proverbs to realize what type of man you need to be and the type of character you need to have to be able to sustain the Proverbs 31 woman that I'm going to bring into your life. But in the event that you aren't that 31 is not going to stay. And so it's a huge honor for me to even talk about this because I'm very blessed. I have a Proverbs 31 woman in my life. Her name is Brooklyn. I love her so much. She is incredible, hardest working woman in showbiz, and one of the baddest examples, when I say baddest, the greatest examples of a woman, of a friend, of a mother, of a wife. She's just awesome. She's just incredible. If you listen to the last episode, if you're not listening to Inchstones, people ask me that question all the time, like, what is an Inchstone? Well, it's Kaizen, right? So a series of small improvements or never walking past poor quality. And when we take these little Inchstones, right, and we put them in place in our life, and we pile them up, they become the milestones that we're generally focused on or that we want to focus on. So don't focus on the milestone, focus on the Inchstone and just those little tiny improvements every single day. And that's what Inchstones can be. That's why we're seeking after wisdom as much as possible. And wisdom is the right use of knowledge. And when we have that, it's not circumstantial anymore. It's principle-based. So you don't have to worry like, okay, what do I do in this situation? No. What do I do when this thing happens? We go back to principle-based wisdom. That's the reason why we do it. Let's hop into Proverbs 31. So the first thing that hit me huge was these are going to be all the things that we want to compliment on, right? Compliment Our Lady on before we ever get to the beauty side, right? Number one is confidence. And, for a woman to be confident, there's a couple of things. My dad said this, that you build competence, then you build confidence, then you cop an attitude. Not an attitude towards the people around you, but an attitude towards the task at hand. We become competent, we become confident, and then we cop an attitude. And when a woman has confidence, and how can a woman get confidence? It's by us lifting them, lifting up our wife, lifting up our daughter, lifting them up, let them know that I think it's amazing that I tell you, when you compliment things that you want to come into fruition, it's incredible how you can start to speak those into existence. Now, it doesn't mean that a woman has to have that to be able to have confidence, but I tell you, when you compliment your woman on her confidence in whatever she's doing, whether it be her work, her passions, whatever it is, and you start to compliment that, you'll start to see more confidence come around. Number 2 is the value. Complimenting a woman on her value and how valuable she is. My wife is so valuable as a mother, as a friend, as a wife, as a, as a daughter, as a sister, all those things. She just adds so much value to every single person. She's constantly not thinking about herself. She's thinking about other people and how she can lift people up. And, when I think about when I was talking about Roy Tuscany, with Roy is this way. Roy has an incredible amount of confidence when he walks into a place because he's done the work. And then Roy always adds value. He added value to me, not only just because of my jacket, but my jacket is hot. Like, it's no joke. I love this thing. I'm going to be wearing it every single day, going to the beach. It's going to be amazing. And when people ask me about high fives, then I'm able to tell them about it, right? And so the third thing in this is hard work. And I believe that every single person works hard at something, and when they get complimented on that thing, it will continue to increase that hard work. I look at my wife, and I honestly, she's the hardest working woman in showbiz. And she's going to Austin this weekend. She's going to be doing a show for Paul Mitchell, one of the very few hairdressers and educators that do all the shows for that. And also, she does all the print work and all the video work for Paul Mitchell globally. I mean, this woman is amazing, and she works harder than anyone that I know. Perseverance. And perseverance is one of those things that you just keep doing it, even though it's not comfortable. And this is what my wife has told me before. She's like, do it anyway. Even if it's not the greatest situation in the world, make sure that you just push through. Do it anyway. Get out of your head, right? Get out of your head and just do it. Like, just do it anyway. And when that happens, she tells me all the time, it's not that deep. It's not that deep. Get out of your head. Do it anyway. That's what my wife, I think of those things when it is. Then I think of my wife's intelligence. I think of Brooklyn's intelligence, and anyone who knows her knows how highly intelligent she is, not only in business, but when it comes to being a mother of a 15-year-old daughter, 13-year-old son, being a wife, being an entrepreneur, being a hairdresser, being all these things. She is so incredibly intelligent, and I would tell you, probably one of my favorite things is how intelligent she is financially. She is such an incredible, incredible woman, and I'm so blessed to be able to have her in my life. Ingenuity. Ingenuity is something that, is you get creative. When you hit a wall, then you look for the door or the window, right? Or you look under or you look over, a way to be able to get through it. It's figure-outable. Things are figure-outable. And when you have ingenuity, these things happen. I want to compliment my wife on those. And what I would suggest is that you compliment your spouse, your wife, your daughter on their ingenuity. Wisdom is the right use of knowledge. I talk about this a lot, and I tell you, wisdom pays high dividends. And the highest dividend that you could ever have is from when you understand taking out the circumstance and you have principle-based wisdom. That means that you could be hit with anything, and you could line them up and filter it through the principles that you have, and you know how to be able to deal in that certain situation. And this is something that my wife is so incredible with. She has wisdom beyond her years. She has the right use of knowledge. Doesn't mean that she's perfect. She's not. I like to think of her that way, but she did choose a dog. She'll tell you that I chose it. We got a dog on vacation. His name is Ziggy, and she thinks Ziggy could do no wrong at all. But I tell you, Ziggy's doing a lot of wrong. He's chewing a lot of stuff. He's pooping in the house, peeing on oh man, he is crazy. So I would say that that's the one thing that maybe my wife, maybe we could have made a little bit better decision. I'm joking. Actually, only if you are. But we probably won't buy another dog on vacation. But we do love Ziggy. He's a part of our family, and he's a cutie. I'm telling you, if he wasn't so cute, he'd be out on the streets real quick. This word I never thought that I would compliment my wife on, but it's prudence. And I always thought prudence was a bad thing. As a kid, you would say a person is a prude or they're whatever. And I always thought it was negative until I actually looked up the meaning of the word. And the meaning of the word is just to have thought of the future. My wife has thought of the future. Brooklyn has thought of the future all the time, and she's constantly, her prudence is amazing because she's not just thinking about right now. I generally think about right now. So I'm like, yo, we need to do this right now. And she's like, let's chill. Let's take a breath. It's not that deep. Get out of your head, Kelly. And let's evaluate. I'm like, let's not evaluate. Let's go. We'll figure it out. Jump off the cliff. Then we'll figure out where to get a parachute. She's like, no. But her prudence is amazing. It saved us in so many different areas. And when I have made the decisions, generally it kind of messes it up. So I'm very honored to be able to have her in my life. The last one is that word is just honor. And I want her to know how esteemed and how honored she is by our kids, by me, by my brother, by everyone who comes in contact with her. Everyone loves Brooklyn. Like, if you're around her, you love her. If you're her friend, you love her. If you're her sister or her sister, you love her. You're her brother, you love her. You know exactly what I'm talking about. If you're her mom, her dad, you love her. I'm very fortunate because she's my wife. So I get to love her. That's my job. But I want to compliment her on the honor, like that everybody holds her in. And it's not because she does anything, it's just who she is. And I tell you, like on the 31st of every month, I always love this day because I read on Proverbs 31 and I just think about, I'm so fortunate. But then God is like, okay, so go back to the other 30 Proverbs, get yourself in line and come and seek me. That way you can maintain and keep that woman in your life, right? And I want to keep her in my life for the rest of my life. And so as we finish up here, right? So look at this, right? So we talked about like compliment your lady in this order. This is what God said, right? Is compliment her on her confidence, her value, her hard work, her perseverance, her intelligence, her ingenuity, her wisdom, her prudence, and her honor. And then finally, the 10th one, then and only then compliment her on her beauty. And what's amazing about it is when I think about those first 9, those are what makes up someone to be beautiful. But then he says, now it's okay. Now it's okay to compliment her on her physical beauty. And if any of you know my wife, she's super hot, like, smoke show. Like, she is incredible. I outkicked my coverage, right? As they say. But I've learned through this practice and learned through reading the corresponding proverb for the corresponding day that if I lead with my daughter is beautiful, my wife is beautiful, any woman in my life is beautiful, but I don't compliment on those first 9, this is where we could get into some weeds, I guess you would say. And this is great because it's such a clear path that God gives us in Proverbs 31 is to honor our wives, honor our daughters, honor the women in our lives, and it's exponential return. Seriously, it is incredible. Brooklyn, I love you more than anything in the world. You are my one and only, my ride or die. I love you. You're great. You're always great. You say nice things, smell nice. And I, a lot of times, make silly decisions that you tend to clean up. So I love you. You're the best. Check out Proverbs 31, guys. Read it. If you're married, read it. And then compliment your woman on her confidence, her value, her hard work, perseverance, intelligence, ingenuity, wisdom, prudence, honor, and then follow it up with the beauty part of it. And I guarantee you'll have a good date night. I promise you. So if you're not coming to the Vibe Room, you're missing out. It's on November 9th at the Edison House. Check out the book, The Vibe. Do that. Subscribe. Turn on the notifications. Share it with a friend. Comment. Do all those things. My name is Kelly Cardenas. This has been Inchstones Kaizen, which is a series of small improvements. Little tiny inchstones, pile them up, make a milestone. My name is Kelly Cardenas, and I'm officially off the hot seat. Peace, love, and soul.
Nothing more on my mind. I got 2 shines, so every day I grind. Work in the morning, work in the evening. We's achieving, cause we believing. It's for certain, we put the work in. We ain't stopped just because it's hurting. Right before your eyes, so it's coming to no surprise. The takeover is televised.